Our goal is simple, is to give practical insights to real world strategies and expert perspective that can use to drive smarter business decisions and strong results for your business. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll go ahead and introduce our guest today. Rachel Mind is a growth strategist and relationship builder with a diverse background spanning data analytics, education, real estate, and community leadership. She currently serves as the growth lead at Analytic Vizion, where she leverages data driven insights, strategic partnerships, and project management expertise to expand client impact and organizational success. Rachel is also a founder of Elite Test Prep, a thriving business she has led for over a decade, helping students achieve their highest potential through personalized learning and community outreach. Previously, she co-founded De La Cruz Properties, overseeing residential renovations and real estate projects, and held leadership roles in education and ministry, where she revitalized programs, scale operations, and strengthened community engagement. Known for her innovative mindset and collaborative spirit, Rachel is passionate about creating environments where people and organizations can thrive. Welcome, Rachel. How are you today?
Hi, Henry. Thanks for having me. I'm really grateful to be here and honored that you asked me to be here with you today. So thank you.
Oh, it's a huge honor. We would love to hear about your insights so the community can grow, develop, and apply it in their careers. Let's get started. I
hmm
guess you've built businesses in education, real estate, and now data analytics. What's one growth truth that applies across every industry?
So I think when we're talking about taking something and making it sustainable, scaling it, what you can offer that helps with growth? And that's always people. So when you think about the end, begin with the end in mind, you always want to serve people the best that you can. And if your first goal, your number one priority is to serve the best you can, then you're going to make sure that you're putting the right people in place, that you're bringing in the right knowledge, the right resources, so that you can serve really well, whether you have a service or you have a product. At the end of the day, if you are always prioritizing serving people to the best of your ability, then you are going to create something that's sustainable, that can scale. So,
Yeah, I agree. The people aspect is very important, especially when
right.
in business. Having good customer service. A good
hmm
example is maintaining tenants' process, making sure that they're taken care of and their needs are
hmm
taken care of.
Yeah. And not just, I mean, it's also thinking about the hiring
Mm.
process, making sure that you are hiring the best people to deliver the best product or service. So if I were to start, say end with the delivery piece to make sure that you're serving people to the best of your ability, the best of your team's ability, and that stays priority one, reverse engineer that, then you need to make sure that you're hiring the best people. Because if you are hiring the best people, then that's where you're going to have a product or a service that's always high quality, and that's going to be your differentiator. So you have to hire quality people, quality team members. Otherwise, you're going to have this pipeline volume at the top and have to keep that pipeline volume because you're never going to be able to farm new clients because your delivery or product isn't good. So yeah, hiring and making sure that you're serving top-notch quality every single time, top priority.
Of course, the values are important because that determines
hmm
the org
Right.
success. And what makes an organization truly stand out today, whether it's tutoring services, a property business, or a data consultancy?
Um, Again, this comes back to what are you delivering? Are you delivering something that is average or mediocre, or is it high quality? Is it
Mm.
something that, because I mean, in reality, the market's saturated probably with any kind of service or product that you are trying to bring to the market.
Mm.
So the differentiator there is, are you delivering quality, or is it something that the other consultancy can't provide? And if so,
Mm.
what is it? So it's delivering value consistently every single time. So you want to think about your customers. For you and your customers, you guys are an ally together. You're a partner, and
Mm.
you're trying to figure out what is the best path to bring you the greatest impact from whatever service it is or whatever product. So at the end of the day, it's a win-win for you and the customer. So just delivering value, high quality, and being a trusted ally or partner with your customer. I think is what makes an organization stand out amongst the flood of others in the same market doing the same thing.
Got it. Got it.
Mhm.
And now for the analytics piece, what's a trend in growth or analytics that you're excited about and one you think we can safely leave behind?
Actually, one of the things that I'm really excited about is a bit more controversial too. I'm excited about obviously Gen AI and agentic AI. The reason is actually more exciting than the tool itself. I believe that the power that we have with us as humans is to create lasting change and lasting impact, right? And a lot of times in our day to day, we are bombarded by a list of things to do, and we're constantly trying to get through the rubble and get through all the list of things we have to do. And I believe that if we have the ability to rise above that, to truly innovate, to truly serve, to truly help on a more of a massive scale, or even in your community, if you can create more impact, then that's where the real power lies. And that's why I'm super excited about Gen AI, agentic AI, because I feel like it can take a lot of those tasks off our plates and allow us to go be more human. And I've talked to other data leaders that are thinking about this on a large scale, like space and global warming, and how are we going to make this a better planet, more habitable for us. I think that we can do that if we learn how to get AI right, Gen AI, agentic AI right. Of course, then you go into, well, if I'm going to do this, then if this is the goal, then what has to be true in order for that to happen? Well, we have to have our data right in order for us to have AI right. But that is the trend that I'm most excited about. It is a long haul. It's not something that's just going to be quick for us to be able to do, to get it right. But when we can, I feel like we can rise above the noise and start to focus consistently on larger scale challenges to create more impact if we can, take some of these smaller things off our plate.
You mentioned working with customers and clients. Can you share a little bit of their, I guess, pain points or use cases that Gen AI and Agentic AI could possibly solve for them? Or you don't have to share, you could go high level if you prefer.
I think, it depends. I know that's kind of an annoying answer sometimes, but it really does depend. But just sitting on, if you think about the different tasks that leaders have constantly, what are ways that we can remove some of those tasks and make it easier for them so they can focus on things that are more impactful, more important? So it might be just a matter of something easy that's managing their time or managing their task, but also it's a speed to value. If we can get AI to help with workflows, to help handle some of those different tasks that we're having to go get, if it can bring it all to you and save you time there, then that time is where the real value comes in. So, as my role at growth lead, I do sit very high level when it comes to data and technology, and I don't sit on the delivery side. I really lean in on my team for this. I call myself kind of a people connector. I'm out in the community. I'm out seeing, these are the needs, these are the challenges, and my heart is to really serve and help people at their greatest needs, and we put a lot of time into our careers, and people want to be successful. And when they come home, they want to be confident and be successful. And if there's a way that I can help them do that, then that's where my passion lies. So I go out, I find the people, I see those needs, and I connect them with our team. And our team is the one that comes in and delivers and helps them understand, AI strategy. And you have all these different tools that are doing all these different, ticketing services, or, the pipelines, or all these different things that they're doing. And my team is helping them create a strategy, a cohesive strategy that delivers and drives adoption and makes a difference. So it is a super high level answer, because that's as far as I go. It's as growth lead. And then I'm kind of like, handing it off to the next person who can go deeper and help more.
Yeah, it's important to highlight the importance, not only high level, but also each individual contributor who is part of that success, and having that person is important.
Yeah, people connector.
And this is a perfect segue to personal branding and leadership. So,
Mm-hmm.
for professionals who want to grow their careers and businesses, what should they start when building their reputation?
Well, decide where your passion is.
Hmm.
Your passion is going to drive a lot and it'll get you through those valleys. So when you're building a career or building a brand, it takes time, it takes consistency in showing up. Your passion, your heart is what's going to win people over. And if you're not passionate about it, then it's not going to translate well. I will say, whenever you're thinking about your building your brand and your reputation, and you think about the ways that you want to serve, and what is that piece that you're most passionate about, that's when you can start building a community around you that's supportive and that cares, and consistently showing up with that message and that focus, I think, is what drives that. So instead of having this broad net that you throw, get very focused on what it is how you're serving or where you want to show up in the market, and go deeper with that. Because we all we're bombarded with the same type of information, the same high level stuff. There's nothing that's like deep. You want to deliver insights that people can just come get from you. Establish yourself as the expert, So if you're passionate about it, you're going to research it. You're going to continue to be on the front of thought leadership and provide the insights that create a brand that people are drawn to, And so I think that passion and really getting focused on how you want to serve is the most important when you're building your brand, because that's going to drive you through a lot of the, challenges that you'll have over the way. So
Of course. You travel, you meet with clients. How do you try to balance building the brand while also having full-time role and a business?
There's a few different ways that I do this. One is I have a great team around me. So in my education business, I have a great team around me. We have very clear roles and responsibilities. We have very clear plays, processes that we run, and we know what. I've had this business for 13 years, so I've learned a lot of what not to do and learned a lot of what to do. And then I also learned from others in the industry who had their own businesses. It's similar to mine in the education field. I was watching them for probably a decade before I even started my own business, of what they were doing well and what I would do better. And then, so I think just having a team around me and understanding roles and responsibilities, having clear processes in place that you run consistently, helps to take out a lot of the guesswork and keeps things running smoother. Another thing that I do is time blocking. So at Analytic Vizion, for me, there are, I sit as marketing strategy, also sales enablement, and biz dev. So I'm also boots on the ground and building pipeline volume and really bringing in people that we can serve, and going out in the community and finding them and understanding their pains and their challenges, and then also creating assets that speak to their needs. And that's a lot. That's a lot of work. So I use time blocking to help me with prospecting or business development, or just follow-ups, those types of things that help me to make sure that every week I am hitting the top priority pieces. I'm always perfect at it? No. Sometimes I don't keep those blocks, and maybe I should. It just depends on the season, depends on what we have going on. But time blocking is very important. And then just prioritizing. And I know that there are a lot of tools that can help with keeping tasks top of mind and also prioritizing those different tasks. And I definitely leverage those and learn about those more and more, so that I can keep first things first.
Right.
And keep driving impact instead of getting buried in details.
Yeah, that makes sense. And you're not the only one there. I was at a talk yesterday where someone was transitioning from individual contributor to manager. So had to learn by trial by fire, make mistakes, and have coaching. So it makes sense. It's a journey. Each is personalized, but they are able to find a system that works for them.
Right. Yeah. And it's finding the system that works for you. And nobody's perfect. We're going to learn what to do and what not to do. And then also another thing is to go and ask people what works for them and see if that can work for you too. So yeah, I love that. We're all trying to figure out here, right? So
of course. Could you share a success story, maybe a real estate project or client transformation that you're proud of?
Well, I would say that one of the flips that I did for a house when I had De La Cruz Properties LLC,
Mhm.
I flipped houses in Greater Atlanta. And the first house that I did was a 1920s home in Atlanta.
Mhm.
And I was also acting as the GC and doing all the permitting through the city and running the crew, and realized that half of the house was an addition and it had to be torn down. So we had to tear down half the house, and it was crisis mode, because profit margin is very important. And they say in real estate, you make your money on the purchase.
Right.
So there's not a lot of profit margin whenever you have to tear down half the house. So it was a time where I thought maybe this isn't going to work. It was my first one, like I said. So we ended up tearing down half the house and rebuilding half of it, rebuilt it back better than before. And we were able to successfully complete that flip, got it on the market and it sold at a record high for that neighborhood for price per square footage. That was a really good success story. And I think it kind of set the pace for it, even when sometimes it seems impossible. Look at your option. There's a decision principle 131 that we use at Analytic Vizion. And I'm sure you've heard of it, where you define the one challenge, and then you find 3 different options of how you could address the challenge, and then choose the one solution that is the best. So be creative when you are trying to find solutions for the challenges that will come up all the time. Know that there is a way, and you just keep moving forward. Learn and grow, learn and grow, learn and grow.
Is it easy to say that challenge helped you find a common pattern within your other roles to be able to move forward?
Yes. So even, here at AV, it's always just learning the different challenges that people go through. We're enterprise sales, enterprise service, and we work with senior data leaders, and their problems are very complex. Their needs are very complex, and data maturity is, can go from low to high. But when their data maturity is very high, they're coming to us with the most complex problems, because if they can't solve them internally, then they must be really complex problems. And, data transformation, data strategy, when you're doing it across enterprise levels, different verticals, there's a lot of challenges there. You have to overcome silos, culture, legacy tools, also legacy mindset. There's a lot of challenges there. So I think when you can get people together, get the stakeholders together or get the team together, figure out what's most important, and be creative on the solution and bring people into that partnership or that conversation, you can find the way to the solution. The hardest things or the best things are the hardest things usually. So yeah, it definitely set a precedence for my career on it's not always going to be easy. A lot of times it's going to be hard, but there is a way through it. And, when you get on the other side of it, you're so much stronger and so much wiser to be able to handle the next challenge. So
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you, Rachel.
Mhm.
I guess now that you have all these challenges, now we could talk about a little bit what tools or resources that you rely on to
Mhm.
keep you organized and effective. I'm sure you mentioned a couple, but maybe for our audience, what tools that out there in the market can help them focus on a specific task if they have so many.
Yeah. So for me, of course, CRM is very important for managing all of the prospects and customers that we have. So I work in our CRM every day to just keep task on all the different prospects, all the people I'm talking to, all the follow-ups, all the projects, all the client engagement. I make sure that I use my CRM and document everything in that so that I can track things really well. Analytic Vizion, we use Drive,
Mhm.
but I know there are a lot of CRM tools that are very effective. And I think that if you can have something where you can take it out of your mind and put it into the tool, that's much better. So I use CRM to help manage all of those relationships and the tiny little pieces that help me connect with my prospects very well and serve them, to the best of my ability. And then for tasks and projects, I use SmartSuite to manage all the different projects that we have going through. We go to different conferences. We have booth presence at those conferences. We have different events that we do, and all of that falls under the realm of business development. So keeping up with all the different projects, even in marketing and all the different ways, we put it in SmartSuite and help us for me and the marketing team. And then the biz dev team, we put it in there to just keep track of everything and keep us running forward. Yes. And it's definitely, having a way that you can document the process and keep those tasks out of your head and in some tool is, I think, the way that you can manage a lot of different projects that have a long cycle and keep things moving forward without feeling overwhelmed.
That's good insight, especially people starting careers or transitioning. That is valuable for the market.
Yeah.
And just to end on a fun note, I guess for our data community and customers here at Orlando Insight Group, if you could give one piece of advice to the data and business community to apply immediately in their projects, what would it be? What would it be?
Yeah. Definitely whenever, for anyone that's serving or has a product, whenever you are serving it in, let's say, data community, business community, always start with better questions. Show up with curiosity. Try to understand what is their challenge, what is their pain, and make sure that you understand that well. And it starts with asking really good questions. And I feel like we show up with a solution in mind, or we show up maybe with the solution already and say, hey, I hope this fits what your problem is. But if we show up with curiosity and ask really good questions that go deeper and deeper into the levels, then we can actually deliver a solution that addresses their challenges, that meets their goals, and that really allows them to move forward, and move that needle. And that's a big win at the end of the day. Everybody wants to win. Everyone wants to meet their goals. So I think whenever you come in and instead of thinking about how I'm going to tell people about me and what I do and how I serve or what my product is, come and be very curious about what they do and what they need and how maybe you can help. So
great advice, especially building relationships now is more important than ever in this market.
Right.
And interns, students looking for opportunities. It's that relationship building, that camaraderie, and having these meetups and process place.
Yes, it is all about relationships. So, and people can sniff out when you are really not concerned about them. They can tell. And I think about when you're building relationships, it's like fishing. Whenever you throw your line out there, and whenever you feel a tug, if you pull too hard on that line, then, or you go in too hard on the cell or whatever, whatever it is, you'll snap that line and you'll lose that person because they don't trust you anymore. You have to go slowly and have patience and know that if you are moving forward with their best interest in mind, that you begin to cultivate that relationship with them and that desire to help them, they will see that and they will trust you. And when they start to trust you, they'll invite you into more of what's going on and how you can help them and what they really need. So it is all about relationships. And if you come in just trying to give people what you think they need, they're going to know, and they're not going to share anything with you, So yeah, you definitely have to take the time to cultivate relationships, get to know people, and ask good questions. Yeah.
Definitely. That's a great way to end our sessions. Rachel, thank you so much for joining our podcast for Orlando Insight Group, the data community. We appreciate everything you shared today. Please, we would love to have you come back in the future, share your success, growth, and wish you luck.
Thanks so much for having me, Henry. I appreciate it. It's been fun. And, like I said, my heart is to find people to serve and to make an impact so they can feel good about the work that they're doing. So I appreciate the time to share more of, how Analytic Vizion serves and how we can help people, because I feel like helping people is what it's all about at the end of the day. So thank you for the opportunity.
And Rachel, where can they find you if the community wants to ask questions, reach out?
Well, I'm on LinkedIn. So Rachel Mines on LinkedIn is really the best way. So you can also reach me at rachel.mines@analyticvision.com. And I am always here and ready for questions. To me, I have 30 minutes for everyone. So go on, book a meeting, and just love to get to know people, hear their stories, and see if there's a way that we can, help each other and make an impact together.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So this ends the first podcast after our summer break. I hope you enjoyed this opportunity to speak, listen to Rachel Mines. Keep on for the next podcast coming in the coming months, and we look forward to seeing you again. Take care, guys. Hi, everyone. Welcome. I am your host, Henry Clavo, founder and CEO of Orlando Insect. Each episode, we dive into real conversations with technology leaders, innovators, and experts who are shaping the future of data.